Gonna keep that vibe. Drop a side down.
You right there, ladies and gents? I'm out on another English Heritage Motovlog, and this time I'm off to Dover Castle. I've been really wanting to get to this place for ages, and when I saw it the other month, week, whenever it was, on my way back from the bike show, I was just like, I've really got to go and do that. And actually it was seeing Dover Castle that inspired me to join the English Heritage and to put together this motovlog series. So this is why I'm doing the castles. It's such an awesome looking castle from the outside, and I really don't think I've ever been there before. So I'm absolutely massively looking forward to seeing what it's all about. It's a humongous setup. It's a whole day out all by itself, which is really not frustrating. I mean, it's awesome, especially as like I don't have to pay to get in because of my membership. But what is a bit poo is that there's loads of other stuff around here that I'd really love to get my teeth into as well. So I guess that means I'm going to have to make multiple journeys. I've done this journey all the way along the motorway on the way here, and I'm massively regretting it. It was just... this bike is fantastic, and it will hold motorway speed to no problem whatsoever. That's not the issue. The issue is motorways are just boring. Absolutely boring. But yeah. By the way, I'm still a little way out, about 5 minutes from Dover, and then I've got to find the castle. And the castle's pretty easy to find, but yeah, I don't want to waste your time talking at you while we're on the motorway. So I'm gonna off camera for a second, and I'll be right back. Just coming into Dover now, and there's a view of Dover Port with these rolling hills and the white cliffs just be on the other side of them. I don't know what it is about having the sea in my vicinity, but it just really strikes a chord. It's just emotive. It's in my heart. Now, I don't regret really leaving the Navy. It was a decision, and it was one I had to make at the time. So it was something I had to do. But even before the Navy was in my life, the sea was always there. Just as a lad going down to Littlehampton, sailing and stuff like that. Yeah, fantastic. What was my speed here? We've got stupid averages. There we go. But yeah. So, oh wow, you can see France. Hi France! You probably can't see that, but I think it's about 14 or 20 miles in that direction is France, and I could see it. I could see a foreign country. I don't actually know where I'm going here, so we're going to have to make it up as we go along. But yep, there's France. Right, let's concentrate on directions rather than scenery, hey? Awesome. So that's another one of the forts I wanted to have a look at. I believe that's on the English Heritage, so I shall endeavour to make a trip back to that one, or if I have time I might do it today, but I really don't think I'm going to have that time. Wowzers, I don't know if you can see that, but that's an impressive sight, and I don't mean the DSV lorry, you little fucker coming in at the wrong moment. Cliffs, castle, awesomes. Hopefully we'll get a better view in a second once we get beyond this traffic. But yeah, wowzers. So there's your white cliffs with the Port of Dover to the right and Dover Castle up top. It's got so much up there. Really looking forward to this. That's proper castle like. I mean, Arundel Castle is kind of like fairy tale castle. This one's medieval castle. It's just, this is what the boys, when you're kids, would imagine your castles would look like, whereas the girls would imagine the castles would look a little bit more like Arundel Castle, I imagine. This is my first proper motovlog, trying out my new furry face thing. So it'd be interesting to see how this comes out outside of the test conditions that I put it through on that video I did, whenever it was that I did that. There's a little bit of time travelling going on with my videos. I've got some time off at the moment, so I'm utilising that to go and investigate all these awesome things, and I don't want to just pile all these out on you, because not everyone wants to watch them at the rush. So if I just drip feed them, it gives me some stuff to do over winter. Don't know what that archway was. Hoping for a sign somewhere. Dover Castle, right, awesome, that's what we want. That's the deal, man. That's a good noise. I like that new exhaust pipe on this. Right, saying go right here. Right it is, I will go. Hello there.
If you follow the road up, you'll get to 3 different car parks.
Yep.
Park in any of them. In the middle car park there's a ticket office, and that's where you get your ticket.
Lovely jubbly, thank you. Awesome. I don't mean to be a hooligan at like National Treasures, but they give me a tunnel, I'm going to use it. Wowzers, that's one hell of a building. Let's have a little drive around for a bit. Can't go that way. Just for me. How very kind of them. Ugh. So this is Dover Castle, and I think that's the entrance. That's a big building. I feel like I've been a bit crap on the information I've given people on the other videos I've put out, so I might try putting in some information on the screen about what the different things are I look at. But I'm not quite sure how to do that yet, but I think it can only improve my channel and improve the quality of the stuff that I provide you if I learn how it all works a little bit better on the old tech. But I think that could have been a hospital, but I'm not sure, so I will try and correct things, and that because I like guessing at what things are when I see them, so yeah, I get that wrong quite a lot. Any hoozles. Right, I'm going to turn off because we're going into that building and people paying and things and stuff, and cameras aren't very polite, so I might put the bike camera back on again in a bit, or I might go to the hero session. I'm also going to try and do a different audio setup because there was so much wind noise on a wedge of my other videos using the session that you could barely hear me in places, and that doesn't make for an enjoyable viewage. So I've got a microphone, and it's all going to be a big faff, and it probably mean that my GoPro audio on the bike on the way home is not going to work because I've got to dissect all my setup for that. Anyhow, I will see you in exciting places and stuff and things. Okay, well currently I'm here. This is where I parked the bike up, with the ticket place there. 15, what was 15? That's the officers' new barracks. Okay, so I thought that was a hospital. It's not the hospital. The hospital's down here, which is 14, I believe. Yeah, the underground hospital annex. And then you've got Operation Dynamo down there. And these are big tours for these, 20 minutes and 60 minutes. So I don't know if I'm going to have time to get to them. I might have to come back on a separate visit, which kind of sucks in a way, because like I really wanted to go to them. But I'm about castles on this trip, so I'm going to be going to the proper castle and having a look around there. You've got a Saxon church or something like that. Yep, so I'm going to have a little look at that and wander around the castle. You've got all floors of the castle, including I think up into the battlements and stuff like that available to wander around, so that's going to be really, really impressive. I'm really looking forward to that. I think there's also some food up there, and it's all, I'm guessing it's lunchtime now, so I'm probably going to have a little snack up there as well, although there is a restaurant down there. But I think because I'm going to do that on a separate visit, I'll possibly avoid that part of the trip on this one. But cool, really looking forward to this. Sorry, no drones. We're in a no droneage zone with ports and stuff like that, I think. I'm not quite sure. To be honest, actually, there was no fly zone showing on the map for the DJI Mavic Pro, but I think here there's just too much going on in the area to risk it for a biscuit. So no droneage today. Right, I'm going to turn the camera off and go and find my way to something cool to look at. Okay, so that's the gate I just come through. Up there you've got the Pyre, which is a Roman lighthouse, and the church. Got the battlements around the edge, and then the main wall. And through this gate here we've got the main tower, which is the keep, and the accommodation areas for the garrison and guards and stuff like that. This is an awesome entrance. So you've got the drawbridge here on the chain going up here, which goes through the archway, and the chain is attached to this drop down doorway, which will swing down and shut up down here, butt up against this. And as that swings down, the chain will be pulled tight,
and the drawbridge will swing up. So both doors will open and close at the same time. Awesome stuff. Okay, so you've got the main castle here, and then you've got the garrison barracks all the way around. Arthur's Hall here would have been the Great Hall when Henry the II and III was here, and it was remodelled into a barracks, as were the others at a later date. And there we've got this most impressive of castles. Quite a grand entrance to it. There would have been a sloped roof there.
Hie thee upstairs and make sure all is in
Hello,
readiness
Obi-Wan.
for the King's return.
Let's hope you're not my only hope. Now this is quite cool. So you've got these gates here. So as we come up the stairs here, you notice there's a big old gap here, and there would have been a drawbridge over this in the past. Extra security, stop anyone getting in that they didn't want in. This thing here is absolutely awesome. So not only did they have their own water source from the main well in case of siege, but they also had a water tower which used to trap the rainwater from the roof. Again, giving them that extra protection and survivability should the castle fall under siege. Awesome stuff. And this is where the well is. So a big old mechanical jobby to get the bucket up. Look at this for a long way down. I don't know if the camera can see that sort of stuff, but that's a really long way. That water level is so far down, but it all gives them that survivability in a siege and convenience when they're not. Now I think this was a throne room where the king and queen would have sat and had their audience. And here is the nobleman's shitter, going down into the depths of nasty goo and horrible ooziness from a wonderful diet. Awesome anyways. Little prayer room. It's a very bright room in here. Certainly at this time of day, would have been perfect for writing.
The Queen, no more by my own children. Consider, William. England has
going to do is go down and then come back up, so we don't miss out on the ground floor. I've gone up 2 stories somehow. So this is the floor below the throne room, and these are the other shitters for people to offload their burdens. And this would have been the dining hall, I'm guessing. Lots of ale would have been swilled and wines drank, and spit roast pigs eaten. And this is where the castle's staff would sort all the food and grog, mix all their soups up and broths. Wow, lots of stairs. Adds to the adventure. So, these here wouldn't have been here, and you'd have had extra ventilation coming all the way through. I guess as cannons got stronger and larger, they needed their defences to be stronger. This door will take you out onto the roof there. We're not allowed out there though. Only pigeons are allowed out there. This is the old classic pipe work. Henry II fitted this with his 4.5 inch fire hoses. This is all stuff that you don't really think about. You just think, it's a castle's a castle. But you need light, you need ventilation. Fantastic. Okay, so as we've learnt, you go down to go up. We've done the floors below, so now we should go up a level here. You know, if you're having to fight all the way up to the roof, it's a pretty dire situation, isn't it? Okay, so that's the first archway we came through. We're coming along the pathway there, down that archway, and along, and in that entrance of the castle down there. I'd love to have been able to get up onto the roofs, but you can see why there's no guardrails or anything. Not very health and safety. You see the tower to the right of the church there? That's an old Roman lighthouse from around the time of Jesus, and then the church next to that. You see the defensive wall all the way around with the big high sides to the hills that they're built on. There's tunnels below all of them. We don't have access to all of those tunnels, I don't believe. Over that way you see those nice archways. They're little death machines, they are. We're going to head over there in a bit. What a view. What a view indeed. I don't know if you can make it out, but if you look into the distance, right far in the distance, beyond the church, in fact in line with the church's roof, is France. Very faintly, but it's there nonetheless, and stretches across the horizon over there. So you can see why this was such an important defensive position. throughout history, but as well as during the 100-Year War. And now back inside, out the wind, and down these mega awesome stairways. Talking again about spiral stairways, I don't know if you've watched my previous video, but the reason the stairways went this way, coming this way meant when you're fighting downwards, as you would be if you were defending, you had more chance of getting a decent swipe with your sword because you had more room. Whereas when you're fighting upwards, so yes, you've got a bigger foothold, but that means you have to travel further. But to swing your sword, you've got that in the way, and yeah, they've got all that arc, whereas you've got just that arc here. Yeah, it's a fantastic idea. It's brilliant. It's really clever. Really clever. I believe this has got the same amount of stairs as Portchester Castle. The reason I know how many stairs Portchester Castle has is because the children that were there last time very kindly informed me in a very loud, squeaky voice of every single one of them. Oh, bless them. I loved going to castles when I was a kid, so I could really see how much enjoyment they'd have had out of it. It's fantastic. Yes, so we had 116 stairs, at least on the staircase I counted yesterday, because all my audio was lost. That video is now gone. I've also just done a check on my audio, and some of it's working, but guess what? Some of it's not. So now as we delve into the medieval tunnels, more spiral staircases, down to more awesome stuff. Now this slope on this gets pretty steep. It really surprised me just how steep it is. Okay, so that's sort of horizontal, but we're going down like that. Something else here. Not that you can actually see much here, but that's kind of the point of them. These I think were murder holes. So basically you'd have had some guards and stuff would hide in here once the wall had been breached, and when the bad guys come up here they'd pounce on them and cause them a little bit of murder. Probably a suicidal role, but nonetheless probably quite effective, and certainly would put the fear of God into you coming up here. And I bet in a siege the lights would not be on in here, so they wouldn't see them until they were too late. So although we've been going down, as you can see, we're still not underground as such, and we are because that would have been excavated out. Right, look at that, St John's Tower. Okay, that's freaking awesome, isn't it? You can hear the wind. So this was built in 1220 or thereabouts. Pretty impressive. So again, more arrow slits to really mess up anyone's day that decided that they wanted to come in uninvited. Cannons firing off down these trenches and up against baddies invading. Awesome stuff. You'd really not want to be here if you weren't invited. Kind of cool cannon, big fat horrible thing, ready to mess up someone's day. And these slots for firing muskets. And they're angled, I don't know if you can see this, like, so you've got a really good line of sight down that way, but from the wall no one can see you. No one can see you unless they're up until about here. You're going to be here. You're going to be completely protected against the bad guys. I mean, the only thing that could get me right now is that sheep. And I'm not going to stand here for that. I'm going to stand here in a standing supported position. Epic. Something I didn't notice as we were coming through here, you got this big gate here to stop people coming in should they breach these walls, which is possible that they could have done. But look at this, they've got a portcullis. So a big old iron gate would drop through, blocking that up. You'd have these big solid doors, big metal doors, well, wooden doors with metal nerdy bits on them to protect them, strengthen them. Again with arrow slits or musket slits, and potentially, I don't know if this is the case, but that bit there could be to give someone who's knocking on your door a little present, should they be unwelcome. Right, let's go down. So this would be where the castle's guards could come out and defend the castle from any attackers that made it down into the moat. So you'd have fired all the cannon at them to knock them down, weaken them, and then you send out the soldiers to clear up the mess. Again, big solid doors, and that's wooden. Now I wonder if that was ever a hinged thing. Something that they could remove to make life a little bit harder, or maybe to get supplies in, use it to lift things, don't know, guessing. A little bit less dingy along here. It's amazing what a bit of whitewash does on the walls, eh? Really brightens up a place. Big old archway, and then 3 passages. These are medieval passages from the castle leading to the sally ports, which are small concealed gateways. So this would be where you'd have a garrison or guard room and sally port. Pop up there in a second. So this is from 1800. And it's a little small defended entrance that the besiegers wouldn't necessarily know about. Gives you the opportunity to have a little bailout or get stores and supplies in. Now, you got the door here on a big old hinge, controlled from in here. Same with this one as well. So these are their ideas or hinges. You see, look, so that's quite intricate. So this would have just slid through that and shut that door, just rammed it shut. And that would have then somehow been able to be clamped. And there'd be no way of getting it open. That there, I don't know. Oh no, that would have been for, oh okay, got you. The pulleys, so that would have been to shut this door here. Fucking epic. I missed this yesterday. So that is controlled on this iron rod, and there ain't no way that anyone's going to be able to push through that unless they smash the door down completely. But you've got big old iron hinges going almost all the way across the top there and the bottom, that going through the middle, and then this door as well is controlled. So even if they get through that one, they've got to then get through this one as well, and you'd have had people shooting through here as well. bad day for everyone. But what we got here is those pulleys that I saw. They come through here, and you had ropes on them going across and onto the top of that, and that would be able to pull that door shut. And then with the door shut, someone would be able to put the bolt across, so that then no one would be able to open it from outside. Yeah, no door handle, surprisingly. I can get that mega sized hinge on that. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one to open that. And here we have here, which I'm not quite sure. Maybe it was for getting supplies down here. Don't know. Fantastic. I mean, this is just an amazing feat of engineering to cut these tunnels in the time they did. Probably didn't do it overnight. Something I didn't notice on the way up the stairs here. If you notice, you've got this little tube and the holes in the wall there. So anyone attacking and coming down these stairs, if they've got this far, could have their day ruined by either musket fire through there or hot burny oils and stuff to make these stairways incredibly slippery and on fire. Boom! Could you imagine the anticipation if you were being invaded and you're all queued up on these doors with your swords and shields, probably not even shields actually, but your swords and spears and pikes all in hand, waiting for them to give the order to open the door and advance on what's left of the enemy forces down in the moat. Would have been pretty scary. Pretty scary indeed. And again, a hole up there, which would help with ventilation, but also with horrible stuff to say hello to anyone coming up. Okay, this is what remains of Crèvecoeur's tower. He was a previous constable of the castle, and he would have been actively encouraging additional defences of the place to make it as strong as possible for anyone invading. And throughout the years, your invader would change, and the tactics and equipment that they had would differ, just like it is now with modern warfare. So you've got to adapt. So they'd build these new things to overcome perceived threats. But these things would take ages to build. Ages. I mean, just the rock gathering alone would be just such an immense feat. And then getting the skilled labour to piece it all together into what we have 1,000 years later. And after 2 world wars, 100-year war, mentals, and absolutely fantastic. Here we got a trebuchet. It's not all wired up or anything, so not really very easy to work out how it all works. But they're quite clever little things for hurling rocks at big things like that. They'd have a counterweight and they'd have a rock. And the counterweight would be far heavier than the rock, and having that really long pole would add speed to the big rock that they were bunging, which would give it momentum in the hope to put dinks in the walls on the castle. Clever stuff. This is God's Foes Tower, and possibly a chamber block linked to a medieval hall. God's Foes Tower. Okay. There's not much here, but a view, a windy view. We'll find somewhere else to have a little look out in a second. And then a World War II gun emplacement. Should have been another anti-aircraft gun on there. It's amazing, isn't it, that this castle has defended us for so long, and even into some of our largest, bloodiest conflicts of modern times. Sorry about the wind noise here. I can't really do much about that, but I really want you to see not just this building here, but the tower that's with it. It's incredibly impressive. This would be the Deputy Constable's office, I assume, judging by the gate there. Obviously closed up at the moment. I think actually it's a role that's held still, but I don't know. I love the fact that even inside the castle you've got these defences with arrow slits and doors which would be hard to get through, just in case hell broke loose and they actually got into the castle. So this has been constructed initially in 1220 to 1227, but then they added in 1883 an extension to it, and I want to show you that in a bit. So this is pretty damn awesome, quite grand, massive great gates with a portcullis, and I love portcullises. I really wish we had the ability to actually show you one here. Maybe another castle we'll come to will have that set up and I'll be able to show you how it works. But here again we've got these flat down, we've got a flat down gate. So you can see the hinges, they've got no gate on it obviously, but that would have had the back doors, the portcullis, the flappy down door here, which would in turn pull up the drawbridge with the chain going across there to those slits, down to the bottom of the drawbridge there, leaving a big old nasty gap to have to cross up here. So it's just incredibly well thought out. It's just so awesome, so awesome. So over there are the tunnels that we've just been down in. Quite fantastic to think, and you can imagine the murder that they'd be able to play on people that came down into that trench, into the moat. Now I don't know if the moat here was ever a water moat. I don't know if they did that, because they weren't all water moats. Some of them were just nasty trenches that were hard to get down and hard to get back up again. So this is Constable's Gate, and that's an impressive old thing there. But look at these archways, they're just absolutely amazing, and I think that's part of the extension there, where they linked up the two sides. I'd so love to be able to get up into those parts of the castle, but I think they're staffed areas. They've got curtains on them, I think, and stuff, so it's an area that's utilised. Oh, and again on this side got the archway, and that wall, that's like a 3-storey wall going all the way around. Formidable, absolutely formidable, and each has got its own little arrow slots and little places to cause hell. Going all the way down there, which is a long old way down, and you not want to fight up that wall, you not want to fight up that slope. And there's a sheep, although it will run away if I go near it, I'm sure. So this is the Constable's Bastion, and I think Bastion is sort of like a abode or something, so he'd have possibly had himself a little house here that's now no longer here. It might not be a little house, it might be a defence or something. I don't know, But there's sheep. Hello sheep, I'm going to leave you alone. But I bet he had a nice view from it if it was his house. It's a bit mean making him stay outside the castle walls though, eh? So this thing here is absolutely awesome. It's obviously had some repairs over the time. This was built in the 1st century and it was used by the Romans as a lighthouse to light the way into the port. And it's pretty mental. I mean, it looks like it's sunk in here, but I'm betting that this wasn't here before and that's been built up. Although it is high in the air, so it would still shine up when that was set ablaze, allowing ships coming in with goods to trade, troops and whatever, anything they were bringing in could be guided in safely into the port of Dover. Awesome stuff. So this is the church of St Mary in Castro, which I guess Castro means castle, and it was built about 1000 BC. It was ruined and then rebuilt again and has been a garrison church for many centuries. It's a very impressive building. I'm really not into the religion thing, but they didn't know how to build a pretty church. That's pretty damn awesome, isn't it? Pretty damn awesome. This is Peveril's Gate. Pretty awesome stuff. And what a view, eh? See, I missed this yesterday. Awesome. I bet the food's better here than it was in the Naffy up at Faz Lane and Raleigh. Noms time. Ploughed a passage through the foam, Dunkirk and Deal, Dieppe and Dover. I brought the flower of Britain home and took the fruit of freedom over. is how it would have looked in 1874 with 3 10-inch guns. Then in 1905 the fire command post built in a central gun position. 1914 post-war signal station was built above the original fire control post, and then the fire control post was enlarged. 1941 concrete cover was placed over the top of the building, which is sort of how it is now. Pew pew. This would have been a pretty important place, and quite a scary one to be in. Bit of ship recognition, learning the silhouettes so you can identify what it is you see. Getting accurate bearing information. And these wonderful devices giving mega zoomage. I don't know if I can see through them or not. Don't know if you can see that or not. I see no ships. Clever stuff. Clever stuff. It's very well defended, but something coming in straight through the window would really mess up your day. So you've got your charts, so you'll be able to plot it all out. More ship recognition over there, little wireless, and the all important stove for a good cup of tea. Good cup of tea always helps with morale. This might just look like a spiral staircase, but it's not. It's a helical one or something like that with 2 threads. So you got this one here and that one there, and it allows you to have people coming up and people coming down, cutting congestion. Awesome. So I wasn't able to film while I was down in the underground hospital. It was quite impressive, although it wasn't really used as a hospital for very long. It was more of a barracks, effectively, for the most part of the World War II. But still very cool, and an incredible feat of engineering. I'm hoping the wind isn't fucking this up. There's just so much here. It's absolutely amazing. Really, really incredible. So we've got Operation Dynamo, a rescue from Dunkirk down here. And again, I don't think I'm going to be able to film in there. So yeah, I might not get any information about that. Okay, so as I suspected, I'm not allowed to film inside the 2 tours, which is fine, that's fair enough. And I don't want to take away everything from this visit to stop you coming down here and having an explore yourself. I'm kind of guessing this one's an anti-aircraft, although there wasn't a sign there, but it's a big old beastie, isn't it? Big old beastie. An absolutely awesome place. But that's been calling this visit a day. I've had to turn up on a second day to recapture all my audio, as yeah, thanks GoPro. It's been blinding, absolutely blinding. As you can see, didn't come on the bike, just wanted to get my ass up here and retake the audio. I managed to get all the bike stuff recorded fine, so I'm cutting this into that to make it all make sense and stuff. But yeah, well worth a second visit. And in coming up here twice, I actually managed to see so much more that I hadn't seen already, so absolutely worth a second visit too. So if you've got a spare couple of days or even a day, pop over to Dover Castle. It's freaking fantastic. Alright, catch you soon. Holy smokes, my friends, that was an amazing castle. Want to try and find a little photo opportunity for the bike with the backdrop, because it's so well defended and I'm not allowed right in there. I'm probably not going to be able to get the castle, but I might be able to get something else that's cool. We shall have a look, skis. Oh, just with last time, I am rather toasty sweaty. Okay, this looks like a suitably awesome photo opportunity. Now let's try and get it as close to the steps as possible so I can get an awesome angle on the whole shebangle. And don't fall down the steps. That's about central, isn't it? Although the bike's not straight. That's straight. Okay. So, hit you in the middle. Let's do a flip around selfie. Save that for the next one. Holy smokes, everybody. What an absolutely amazing castle. I just utterly adored the whole thing. I got all this to have a look at still as well. More of the World War II stuff, and possibly, I'm guessing, some Cold War stuff too. Now, we got a green light, or is that a red light, or a no light? Castle Rev Bomb. Thank you. Holy smokes. Right, let's go home. There was literally just too much. There's too much for this video
in what I've just done. I really hope I don't have to do a massive great smush job to fit it all into a reasonable viewing time. I've really struggled with this, especially with the bigger castles, to get them into a 15-minute slot, and I've just not been able to do it. I've just not been able to do it with a lot of them, and they're coming into longer videos, and I really don't want to reduce the impact of how cool these castles are by shortening and cutting out bits which I find absolutely awesome and amazing. But I also don't want to bore you, so you don't watch them. And because if you don't watch them, then you're not going to know that these places are available to you throughout England, and a lot of them free. This one here isn't free. You got to pay for that one unless you're a member of the English Heritage. But I think with these, if you buy a ticket for them, it's valid for a whole year. So even if you're not a member of the English Heritage, you pay once, and then you can just go back any time you want within the whole year. And that means that you can go and revisit bits that you liked, or go and see the bits that you missed, like I'm going to have to do for the World War II part of it. And yeah, sorry, my brain is absolutely melted. Such an awesome day. Dover Castle is a bucket list item, I think. It's a fucking bucket list item. Okay, as soon as I can, I'm going to find myself a nicer route home. I don't really want to go the motorway. I just want to find something that's not going to square off my tyres. But to start with, see, there's all that stuff as well. But to start with, I'm going to have to just go with the herds and find the way out of Dover. I really don't want to completely drag this on any further than I absolutely have to. So the ride home is not going to be included, not even a little bit of it further. I'm going to end this here. If you enjoyed this video and you've not done so already, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and drop in a comment. Let me know what it is you like about it, what I can improve on, what I can add to, what I can take away. If you didn't like it, obviously give it a little thumbs down, and please, again, if you don't like it, just drop in a little comment so I can work on improving that side of things to give you an all-round better video for future stuff that I put out. Right, the stuff there I want to see. There's just stuff everywhere here, man. There's just too much stuff in the world. Right, I've got to go, I've waffled. As always, take care, ride safe, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye for now.
Keep that rubber side down. You know, you gotta keep that bar. Rubber side down.